Scorpio. My name is Summer. Welcome to Summertime Tarot. This is going to be a general reading for the month of January 2020. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull from multiple different decks just to see what energy you have coming your way for January. I'm also going to pull from a tarot deck just for some quick advice on how you can work with this energy. And then I'm going to pull some last oracle cards, some crystal cards to see what crystals you can work with this month to make things go smoothly. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so we have here Saint Martin Caballero, Spiritual Pilgrimage. Oh. Okay. So with this, you could be going through a space of, trying to find your way, trying to understand, what brought you here and then where to move forward. It seems like everybody's going through that. It's the new year. So we're trying to figure out, how to move, reflecting back on the past year, what happened, and what we can do to best work with that energy and where we are now. I kind of want to read from the book for this one. So let's go ahead and read from the book. Let's see. Alright. Alright, it says, emotionally, Saint Martin breaks down any barriers around the heart and teaches to open up to accepting the kindness and unexpected help of strangers and the universe. Spiritually, Saint Martin Caballero governs the throat, heart, and solar plexus chakras and is effective in providing not only spiritual protection but activates premonitions and heightens clairvoyant senses. Consciously, Saint Martin's story is also one that reflects the inspiration of opportunity and spiritual success, especially in business endeavors. He reminds us to live lives of service through noticing the simplicity of small luxuries and giving back with sincere gratitude. He shares with us that a healthy fear of hunger always drives our body to move and get real work done. Okay, he works closely with soldiers, horse owners, and riders, fashion designers, wool weavers, charity operators, and volunteers, recovering alcoholics, low-income earners, and spiritual healers. Okay, let's go ahead and see what's going on for you. Alright, so we have triumphant success. So that's like the Ace of Swords. So new clarity coming in, new insight. So we have movement, choices, and decisions, and I want it to come out in the reverse. So coming out of a space of like indecision, back and forth, not knowing what to do, because you do have this insight. You've gone through some, I want to say you've gone through some kind of test, and now you understand something. You understand something, you gain some kind of knowledge, some kind of insight, and it's like, okay, I'm not going back and forth, or I wanted to say, I'm not going back and forth with you. I'm not going back and forth. I'm not juggling two things. I've decided, what I want, and I'm going down that path. Let's see if anything else comes out. So I want it to come out. So we have throat chakra. So yeah, really about like speaking your own truth, coming out of a space of feeling like you have to hold back, what it is that's on your mind or that's on your heart. Then emotional loss, yeah, because you dealt with some kind of emotional loss, and now it's like you're speaking up for yourself. You're moving away from being in two spaces at once. What's coming to mind for me is cognitive dissonance, where like you have these two ideas or these two realities, and it's like you've been back and forth between these two, and you've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, by staying in this space of going back and forth between these two things, nothing is getting done. And so now it's up to me to really call out for and speak up for what it is that I want. There's no more of this, right? I don't want any more of this. I finally understood what the purpose of this was, and so now I'm going to move forward in a space that's conducive to my healing and to my growth and to my progression forward. I'm hearing like the song was Speak Life to It. Yeah. But let's go ahead. I want to pull some spirit messages, see what spirit messages come out for you all. What spirit messages do you have for me? Alright, that came out quick. So we have ancestral wisdom. It reads, you are your ancestors and we love you. We are your ancestors and we love you. We walked the earth many years before you. We ask you at this point in time to learn and grow from our past experiences. You are our legacy and we will keep on helping you as we continue to evolve here in the spirit world. Yeah. So the two greens in this is really what's popping out to me. So it's like learning from your past and the past of like those who came before you. So when I see this spirit, this card, this ancestral wisdom card, is always harkens back to like needing to learn from the failures of like the people who came before you. So like your parents, your grandparents, and seeing how you are them and they are you, and the things that they do you also do as well. So it's like that's also the good and the bad. So the good things that they had in them, or the good things they have in them, you have it also. But also realizing that the bad things that you see in them, the things that you be like, I don't know why she got to be like that, you have it too, right? And I feel like with this triumphant success, it's like you realize that you see the mistakes that have been made before you, and you see the mistakes that you've made, the way that you have the things you have done that brought you to this moment, right? And you kind of see the patterns that exist within you and within your familiar line. And it's like about realizing that you don't have to continue on, right? With this, it's like this circle. It's like a continuation. And it's like a reverberation, right? But it's like the direction that this goes after it comes out of his heart, right, is up to him. He could stay in this space of like continued sadness, or he can accept what it is now and decide, okay, I'm changing the vibration of this, right? I'm calling out for something else. I'm going to do something different because I have this knowledge now. I'm moving down a different path because the one that I came from wasn't exactly what was, supposed to be. It's not exactly where I see myself, right? And I'm no longer going back and forth between these two things. I see something that I want, so I'm going to put this one down that's no longer working for me so that I can focus on this new one going forward. Let's see what else. What other spirit messages? Woo! Okay. So we have cleanse. It reads, your body, mind, and soul are urging you to take time out for some much needed cleansing. Just as you wash your car, clean the house, or tidy your office, your body also needs care and attention. It's time for some spiritual, emotional, and physical cleansing. Yeah. And then we have a father's love. A father's love for his son or daughter never dies. The strength gained from such love is often unquantifiable, and that it can be tapped into at any time for whatever reason. Whether your father is still here or has passed, a father's love is one of the strongest bonds any of us will ever experience. So with this card, I always see like this connection between these two. And so for this card, to me, it's not completely about like your physical father or your biological father. It's like that masculine energy within you and outside of you that is guiding you down a good path, right? Like, this could be the divine. This could be like just anyone who takes the lead, whose lead you would like to follow, right? So seeing and connecting to this energy and following it. So that could also be just your inner guidance. Like, hey, this isn't working anymore. Time to go elsewhere. And this card is really about trusting that guidance, trusting that you are protected and you are guided, and where you're going is actually going to be good for you, right? And then cleansing is, there's something in your life that you need to release, right? Let go of, release from your being, because it's holding you up. And it could be like this two of Pentacles energy, like something that you're still juggling, something you're still holding on to that is no longer serving you. But with this, it's giving me like a feeling like it's all, with this ancestral wisdom, it's all you know how to do. So you're in this energy and you're holding on to this back and forth because that's all you've ever done. But now it's time to let that go, right? And sometimes it can be hard, even after you see that, hey, this isn't working. Sometimes it's hard to let that go and really move in a different direction. But the message here is that you totally can. You just have to cleanse, let it go, and it may take time, and that's okay. It's not going to happen overnight. It doesn't have to, but just know that it's possible, and that's the first step, right? What's coming to my mind is like AA. Like, I don't know if any of y'all have an issue with alcohol. I'm here for you, man. You got this. But I'm thinking of AA, like, the first step is acknowledging, right? And that's one of the biggest steps, to acknowledge that something needs to change. But once you take that step, the next steps get a little bit easier and a little bit easier. Let's see if any other spirit messages want to come out. Whoa! Okay. That one wanted to come out. Okay. Let's see. It says dream talk. Your subconscious constantly and subtly speaks through your dreams. It's just one of the many ways in which your soul and those here in the spirit world can reach out and communicate with you through signs, symbols, messages, and more. Yeah. With this card, I'm really getting like, because I'm seeing this egg. And the egg for me is all about new beginnings. And this can be literally like your dreams are talking to you, or this could just be you have a dream that you want to fulfill. You have a dream within you that's calling for you. But with this candle, it's like you may feel like you don't have any hope within you. But the message here is that it's all right to follow your dreams and to let go of things that aren't working for you, because there is something better waiting for you once you release that thing, right? And it's all about like following your dreams, listening to your dreams, and paying attention to, you know, what comes up within you. Like when you daydream, what are you daydreaming about? And are you actually like living out your dream, or are you just pushing it to the side and like, oh no, that's, you know, that's for little kids. No, it's not. I'm sorry. Let's see if anything else wants to come out from this deck. Okay, they talking today. All right. It says, find your center. Your outside world is a reflection and a manifestation of what's going on inside you at this time. When the outside world becomes so hectic and stressful that your anxiety starts to overwhelm you, then this is an ideal moment to stop and ask, when was the last time I checked in with myself? Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking of with like the dream talk. Like, where does your mind go when you get into this space, this cleansing space? And that could be anything, like when you're cleaning, when you're washing dishes, when your mind is calm and you're not thinking about anything. Where does your mind go? Because that's where all of your messages are. That's where your clarity is, right? If you, wow, my head's tingling. Okay, wait. When you're sitting down and you're in that space, what comes up? Because I'm sure when you're in that space multiple times, that same thing comes up over and over and over again. And you may not be listening to it, but you need to, because that's where your clarity is. That's where you're going to find your direction and where it is you're supposed to be going, what it is you're supposed to be doing. And if you're in this space and, you know, anxiety comes up, see what's underneath all that anxiety. What's at the root of that? What's causing that anxiety? Because that's something that you need to purge yourself of. That's something you need to get rid of, right? Because if when you find your center and you're quiet and you're listening to yourself and just negative stuff comes up, it's not like a sign that something bad is happening. It's a sign that, hey, your inner self, the divine, God, whomever it is you pray to, believe in, that is when they're talking to you. Because that's when you're the most open to receiving. So really listen to that voice. Listen to those things that come up. And if it's negative, it's not there to scare you. It's there because this is something that needs attention. This is something that you need to get rid of. This is something that you need to cleanse out of your life so that you can step into what it is that you want. We don't want any more of this 2020, right? Emotional loss be gone, okay? We're claiming and we're calling in something else. But in order for that to happen, you really have to let go of the stuff that's holding you back and bringing you down and like pulling you, like, you know, I'm seeing like, this is a bad image, but like, you know, when people get weighed down by cinder blocks and they just thrown in the water and they just sink down to the bottom. You don't want that. You want to be able to freely move and go in whatever direction that's calling you, right? Because that's what this is about. That's what 2020 is about. This is what this year is about, you know, getting to the best you, getting to the space that you want to be in. But in order to get there, you really need to cleanse the things that are holding you back, that are no good for you. Right? And to really heal from this, whatever emotional loss that you're going through, right? And by all means, take all the time you need. Don't try to rush it. Don't try to force it. Just take your time and acknowledge your pain. Don't just be like, oh, I'm all right. No, you not. I'm sorry for yelling. You're not okay, and that's okay. It's okay to not be okay all the time. Just admit that, hey, I'm going through a hard time. And you don't have to admit it to everybody. You ain't gotta tell everybody your business. But, for the people that you care about, the people you feel comfortable with, let them know, hey, today ain't the day, bruh. You know what I mean? Be honest about that. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable and to be yourself and to express, this pain, this hurt that you're going through. Everybody goes through it. It's a part of being human. Human. Yeah. And it's okay to feel those feelings. But in order to, get through them, you actually have to acknowledge them. They're not going to go anywhere if you don't say that they're there. You're going to be like, no, I don't see you. And they're going to stay there. So you have to acknowledge them first so that you can, release them. But let's pull some words of wisdom from the Wow Offering Day. Words of wisdom do you have for Scorpio for the month of January 20th? Excuse me, y'all, if you heard that. I apologize. Excuse me. Okay, first card we have work. I'm now available to receive all who can benefit from my work. Use me to relieve suffering on the planet. May all who need me find me. The divine is my complete source for all prosperity and will provide. Oh, good gosh. Okay. Yep. Okay. Then we have independence. The more you learn to feed yourself on the inside and care for the inner child, the more freestanding you become. Help me feed and love this inner child, dear Lord. Okay. Let's see what else. That one wants to come out. Okay, bottom of the deck. If you've tried forever to shift a problem, there's probably something to learn from embracing it. May I let this be for now. Help me relax and trust every need will be met. Often change soon follows. It's blown out. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep trying to put it right there. I don't learn. But, alright, so what we got here is money. All my finances are now in divine order. Love itself knows my needs and is the source for all. I needn't cling to gain or fear loss. Every need will be met through offering all to the divine. Yeah. And the green, it makes me come back to this emotional loss. Right? So this could be about money, but it could also just be about energy. Yeah. Because what I'm getting from this is like you put in a lot of time and effort into something, right? But you're here. You feel like you've lost something. You've lost out. What you put in is no longer, it's like, dang, I done lost what I done put in. But in reality, that's not how it works, boo. I promise you it's not. Right? Because with the universe, it's like, woo! Sorry about that, you guys. But, like I was saying, when it comes to energy, what you put out is always what you get back. Right? Doesn't matter if it's good, if it's bad. It's coming back to you. So if you've invested your time, your energy into something, into a relationship, into a project, into anything, and it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, it's coming back to you. All that good you put out into the universe is not just gonna like float away with that person or that project that just, the word that came to mind, is dismantled. But it's not gonna just go away. It's gonna come back to you. So you need to be in a space of really receiving and knowing that, hey, everything I put out, I'm getting back. No matter who it comes from, when it comes, it's coming back to me. Right? Get out of space of, oh, I lost this, I lost that. No, you didn't. It's coming back. Right? And then divine timing. It's coming back in divine timing. The divine brings things in the timing that we need. Nothing comes before we're prepared, nor leaves too early. May I always trust your perfect and holy timing, dear Lord. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's all working out without you even having to orchestrate anything. Right? But in order for it to do that, you have to be open. And you have to be ready to go down whatever path you're called to go down. So if that means letting go of something, it's time to let go, because something better is coming back to you. And then with this independence card, it really brings me back to this father's love card, where it's like connecting with that inner child you. Connecting with that inner child you that wants to be independent, and really, I'm hearing giving them the reins. Right? I'm seeing, like, when you first learn how to ride a bike, there's usually somebody behind you holding on to your seat once you first start out. But eventually, you're going to get to the point where they let go. And it's like, you've been working up to this point where, like, you're doing this work, you're doing this work. And the divine God has really been holding your hand through this whole process. And you may not see it, but they have. And the fact that you're in this space where you want to be independent, where you want to do these things, is really proof that the divine has been there guiding you and protecting you and moving you along the path that you're supposed to go down. Because if that wasn't true, you wouldn't feel confident within yourself. You wouldn't feel, protected. And it's really, the message here is to know that you are protected, and that you do have the capability of being independent and making decisions on your own and moving in the direction that you want to go on, because there is this fatherly love, this divine that is guiding your path. But they can't do that if you're like fighting against them. If you're like, oh no, get off the back of my seat. I'm sorry. Like, if you're like, get off the back of my seat, they're just trying to help you. Right? But don't be so independent to the point where it's like, I don't need anybody, or I don't need nothing. Yeah, you do. It's okay to admit that you need help. It don't make you less than. Okay? But let's pull from... Okay. Let's see. Keepers of the Light. Let's see what energy you can tap into this month to help you find your way. That was fast. Okay. So we have here Krishna says, devotion. Trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized and you are loved unconditionally. Yeah. Krishna for me is like about confidence. Trusting in, the divine enough to not try and hold on so tightly to where you're going. Really listening to and tapping into that divine wisdom in a way that is confident and is independent and trusting to the point where it's like, I don't need to manipulate anything or force anything because everything is working out in divine timing, right? It's working out for my greatest good. And with this Krishna here, I'm really getting that you have been putting in that work. You've been putting in that work. So trust that all the work that you've been doing thus far is really going to pay off. And you just have to, trust that what you've been calling out for, what you've been like speaking and speaking into existence and hoping for and praying for and clamoring for is coming your way, right? Don't get in a space of emotional loss or sadness because the current moment isn't exactly how you want it to be. Continue to work and continue to push forward, continue to put in that effort that you've been putting in, and slowly but surely everything is going to work out in divine timing. Don't try and push, don't try and force, just continue on with what you've been doing, letting go of the things that ain't working and put more effort and work and energy into the things that are, and it's gonna pay off. Okay, so I am going to pull a few tarot cards for advice for you for this month. Ooh, cards going everywhere. Okay, so we have the Four of Air on the bottom of the deck, and then we have Five of Air. Good gosh, I'm sorry, you guys. The Empress and Ten of Air. With this, I'm getting really like, with this Empress, you're trying to bring in this new growth, this new abundance, all good things, this love, right? But with this Five of Air and this Ten of Air, I see that you could be in a space of kind of like feeling defeated, also feeling like the word that's coming to my mind is ambivalent. Don't know why. I can't even remember what that means. But really kind of on edge. And the advice here is really to focus on the growth, focus on the things that you want to come in, and not the weeds, not the things that are kind of taking away from your growth. Like, don't get in a space where you feel so defeated, you feel so bent out of shape that you kind of get on the defense. Because if you get on the defense, you're kind of blocking you're blocking your own flow, right? So really what I'm getting from this is really letting things be as they are, but also focusing on growing and nurturing yourself. And once that happens, you'll see that around you. And the things that were like kind of, because I'm with this 10 of air, like the things that were feeding off of your negative energy with this 5 of air, your distress, your anxiety, the things that were feeding off of that, they'll have like, they not gonna have no space, because your growth is gonna be on like 10,100 million. I don't know why I'm exaggerating like that, but that's where you're headed. And if you focus too much on this, it's gonna like, because like you see, it's kind of like weeds. It's gonna like take away from you and kind of like pull you down. And so for this month, really focus on clearing out that energy, clearing it out, and making space for this growth that's coming in. And the best way to do that is to really just focus on your growth. And then if things come up, you know, that are negative or bad, you know, don't react. Find your center, focus on the good, and then try not to react in the way that you normally would, right? Don't get triggered. Try not to. I can't tell you don't get triggered. We all get triggered. But try not to get triggered, right? Try not to allow outside things to mess up your inner good, right? Because you've worked too hard for this. To allow those things outside of you to like influence and infiltrate your mind in a way that brings you down and makes you feel less than. And don't do that. You know, see it for what it is. A little weed. It's just a little weed. Not that kind of weed. I'm sorry. Not that kind of weed. But like, you know, like a little, what is it? Crabgrass. Look at it like some little crabgrass. Somebody try and come and mess with your vibe, your energy, like they just some crabgrass. Okay? Don't allow them to get you off your square. That always comes, I don't know why that saying always comes to my mind when I'm doing these readings. But don't let crabgrass get you off your square, man. Don't let them get you back into this kind of negative space. No. You're above that. That's what I'm getting from this. But what I want to do is pull a final message from the Isis Oracle. And then I'm going to pull some, what is it? Crystal cards for you to see what kind of crystals you can work with this month. Which ones will be beneficial for you. Okay. What's the final message for Scorpio for the month of January 2020? So reading. Or just, you know, message in general. Okay. Look at that. Bottom of the deck. Stay true and be in your power. Osiris and Isis, Lord and Lady of Divine Authority. Yes. Okay, Scorpio. So the card that we got here is Scales and Balance. Ancient Tantra of the Soul. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and read from the book for this one. Alright, it says, you are a tantrika, an initiate on the path of divine healing of the masculine and feminine, the two sacred polarities that are universal to human experience. As these energies come into mutual respect and balance, you attain great power, presence, and healing effect in the world of the soul and in the human world of forms here on this earth. You are supported in further exploring this path now under the auspices and blessings of beloved Isis. You are in the process of sacred relationship healing of the divine masculine and divine feminine energies within your own soul. This is the advanced spiritual path of Tantra. It is the connection of the body and the soul. The effect of this inner divine relationship healing is genuine enlightenment of the mind and the body. The body becomes a living sacred temple of light energy and wild aliveness. This embodiment can be experienced in movement and deep stillness and vitality and in quietness. You are a tantrika, a sacred priestess of the tantric arts. Some people mistakenly believe that tantra is simply about sexuality, but it is in truth the journey of the soul to bring masculine and feminine polarities into wholeness, love, unity, and empowerment. To learn to be the enlightened path in every element of your being. Wow. This is soul building work that is in great service to the spiritual healing and evolution of humanity, which is in deep need of those such as yourself, who can help create sacred connection between mind and body. It might be through your own personal healing of your body-mind connection, and perhaps through your healing services for others that you walk your tantric path. It might be done in a private way or in an obvious way. What matters is that it feels right for you. Walking this path authentically is a choice to live in dedication to the sacred work of Isis, who taught us about the creative power that could come of healing the relationship between masculine and feminine consciousness. You are guided to accept this healing through learning to balance the masculine and feminine energies within yourself and your relationship with others. Balancing, give and take, directing and flowing, play and solitude are ways to do this now. Learning to feel as comfortable as possible with your sexual and spiritual nature, seeing how they can complement rather than compete with each other is helpful too. Connection with the body is the most powerful form of healing for the feminine energy, as it holds the secrets to divine feminine wisdom. This can occur, through wisdom, this can occur through movement, dance, and yoga that is based on body awareness and presence, rather than necessarily involving fast-flowing postures that may take you more into your head than your body. Yeah, Ten of Swords. Stay out of your head, man. You can come more into your body through time and nature, swimming, laying in the sun, resting, or walking, provided that you stay present to the physical sensations that you experience. This oracle also comes as a guide for your path of inner healing and service. You are encouraged to explore divine masculine and feminine healing within yourself specifically at this time. This may involve forgiveness of past relationships with significant males or females in your life. It may also require an adjustment of softening to allow in feminine wisdom, or cutting out some distraction or draining situations or relationships that minimize your sense of your own power and capacity to use masculine wisdom well. Okay. If you are... Wait, no. Okay. Yeah. All right. But that makes a lot of sense. Now, let's pull... I'm just itchy. I'm so sorry. Because I know when I see other people itching, it makes me itchy. I'm sorry about that. Okay. So, let's see. What crystals will be helpful for Scorpio for the month of January 2020? Oh, this got long. Sorry. If you're still here, thank you. Hey. You stop again. I'm sorry. Alright, so the first one we have is Garnet, Commitment, Heart, and Sacral Chakras. What I'm getting with this is really, because healing. We got Fuchsite, healing on the bottom of the deck. What I'm getting from this is like really healing any kind of energies or commitments that kind of brought you this emotional loss feeling, like recommitting to yourself That's what I'm getting with that. But I'm not gonna read these. I'm gonna just show them to you, okay? So you got Garnet. Cinnabar. Okay. Business. Yes. Sacral chakra. Alright. Got a lot of red. Got a lot of red, Scorpio. Okay. Then we have selenite. Peace. Crown chakra. Yeah, more healing energy and cleansing. All right. Look at that. On the bottom of the deck again. Few shy. Okay. So we have carnelian, another red, self-confidence, root, and sacral chakra. Then we have amethyst, intuition, third eye. Okay. And then moonstone, moon cycles. Yes. Okay. So if you have any of these crystals, feel free to work with them this month. If not, you don't have to go buy them unless you really feel called to. But I'm going to hold these up for you one by one. So if you want to, you can come back to this video and connect with the crystals. Okay? All right. So, I'm going to do this one too because I want it to show up more than once. Okay. So, thank you so much for watching, Scorpio. I hope that helped. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this reading resonated with you. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate you, and I hope to see you soon.